Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review.
Yes.
We're going through books that were released on the week of March 19th, 2014. There were some hits, there were some misses, there were some in the middle, and there was actually an ending.
Yep.
So, lots of stuff. Guys, don't forget to also, well, we'll leave that for the end. I always start off where I want to do advertisements for what we're doing, but then I remember we do it at the end. So
stay in the zone. Don't go wandering off in the wilderness. Because you know what happens out there.
Yeah, we find people like you. Mom brought you home.
Without a shirt, how did you know?
I don't know. Why don't you ask somebody who finds you like I can?
Let's start with that book.
I thought you would say that. Disney Kingdom Seekers of the Weird, issue number 3. I have to say that I'm very... when I opened this book, I was very excited to get back into the story. However, the artwork changed.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And it kind of takes away from the story just a wee bit.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. The artwork isn't as... I don't even know how to explain it, but it's more like a painted art instead of a drawn art, like the way the first 2 issues were. For those of you that are wondering what the first 2 issues look like, the artwork over here, where you see the cast and everything, that's the way the artwork was. This is the way the artwork was, and this is the way the artwork looks now. Yeah. Not too detailed, very watercolorish. So anyway, the warden, the ghost of the ward, the head warden ghost, or his spiritual projection, because he's not really dead. Basically, he's warning them that Roland is tricking them. He wants the coffin clock to give to... Oh, what's that woman's name now when he was explaining it to... It's here. Desponia, and basically she's going... The coffin clock basically has the Grim Reaper in it.
Okay.
And the Grim Reaper was the reason for the whole Black Death back in the day. So if they give her the coffin clock, he's going to open it, the Reaper's going to come out, and he's going to kill a bunch... Millions of people are going to die. And that's the keys to open the coffin clock are actually Max and Melody's keys that they got on their 16th birthday. And this head warden answers a lot of questions that their Uncle Roland wouldn't. So they're more inclined to believe him. However, they still are going to find the coffin clock to save their parents. And the warden doesn't like that. He tries to send the zombies after him. However, Max has an artifact that he picked up that controls them. And they find another piece for the living room. They run back to Roland, who's still kind of not answering too much. And then he kind of tries to explain. He's like, I'm sorry, you know, I wanted to spare you the worrying. And they're like, and he says, how can I get you to trust me again? And they're like, it's not going to be easy. And then Max is like, how about acting like you trust us? And he's like, I have a better idea. How about I buy it? I buy your trust. And he opens up this huge armory for them to get the rest of their stuff. He's like, let's get you 2 armed. And that's where the issue leaves off. The big drawback for me in this issue was the artwork. The story still progressed very, very nicely. And in June, actually, we're going to be getting another Disney series. Maybe you'll be interested in it.
Which one? Like, what's it called?
I forgot what it was called. That's why I'm saying another Disney series.
Okay, I'll look into that.
It involves imagination. Very good.
Oh, I love imagination, so definitely I'll be
So, the artwork I feel like took away from the story a little bit. Hopefully we'll get the original artist back. Maybe we won't get him in the next issue, but I believe this is a 5-issue miniseries, so maybe the last issue will be a mix of the 2 artists. But if the artwork continues like this, I don't know if I'm gonna... I mean, I want to finish the story because the story's really good, but it's gonna be definitely living through this artwork, and hopefully I can get through it for 2 more issues. I believe it's 5. I don't think it's 6 issues. Miss Marvel, issue number 2. So, she has the ability, I cannot remember her name for the life of me right now for some reason, and that's bad when you can't remember the main character's name. Her name just, I don't know why it completely escaped me, but, Kamala. She has the ability, she's an Inhuman now, and she has the ability to shrink, to grow, to change her appearance, and do a couple of things. She performs a heroic act looking like Miss Marvel. She ends up going home. She gets grounded until she learns a lesson. And now she has to figure out about her powers, but at the same time her parents don't trust her. And, I don't know. This story kind of... The artwork definitely reminds me a lot of the Runaways, but to be 100% honest with you guys, this story is not something I'm really worth investing into. Probably not going to be getting the next issue of Miss Marvel. It just doesn't do... This story, this character doesn't do anything for me. Same thing like She-Hulk. If it's a light week, I'll give issue 3 a shot. However, I just don't feel that much of a interest in this character. Her family is already... I can feel like I'm going to not like her family because they're very, you know... not possessive, but they're very overprotective. And the guy that likes her is very overprotective. He runs to the parents all the time. I don't know. The character Kamala herself is interesting-ish, but the story and everything that's involved with it just doesn't hold me. And I know it's only a $2.99 book, but if it's a light week, I'll get the next issue. If not, I'm not invested in the character. I'm invested right now in Captain Marvel, hopefully the artwork withstanding and the story as well. But Miss Marvel just isn't my cup of tea. I love the artwork, though. I'm very used to it with the Runaways. But I'm probably going to end up not getting the next issue. It's an interesting story, though. Average read, definitely.
Yep. Alright, The Superior Foes of Spider-Man, issue number 10. And that's weird, that actually came out a week after issue number 9. Just came out like...
Probably they were delayed. One was delayed.
I don't know.
Maybe 9 was a couple of weeks late, so they just threw 10 out.
Yeah. So basically, it just talks about who are the superior foes of Spider-Man. And you get a big splash page
That's a nice splash page.
Yeah, I'm going to show this of all the Sinister Six, even though there's 5 of them. And throughout the whole story, it just basically, like, talked about stories that they come up with. Like, for example... Overdrive comes up with the story of him and Hercules. I was going to say Hercules instead of...
Hey, look, Mike, there's a DVD you might be interested in.
I know, I saw that. The Avengers Confidential thing. So I'm going to probably look into that. And talks about, you know, how him and Hercules, you know... Hercules, I did it again. How they worked with each other and everything, and... it looked like that they didn't really get along because he wears a helmet, because if Hercules sees his face, he might punch him one. So that's why he keeps on the mask. So then it goes into Beetle, where it goes into Trial and Error, where Matt Murdock actually is in this, and I want to show this page. The artwork looks really nice, I have to say that much. And she does her jury thing, and... I won't give too much of a story. Basically, they find she proves that Matt Murdock was Daredevil when, well, not proves, like, basically, there was a person who was proven not guilty because of his absence, is what I meant to say. And then we get into,
Boomerang?
Yeah, Boomerang. They call him Speed Demon. I have no idea why, in that sense. And there's just like a whole bunch of commotion going on after the whole story. It's like Hercules comes in and he just starts taking down the whole place. And now he's there to battle the Superior Foes of Spider-Man team. And that's where it leaves off. So, to be honest, it was an okay issue. Like, I'm not saying it was like really good or really not good. It was like somewhere in the middle.
An average read.
An average read, yeah. I mean, if you want to read it just for their stories and stuff like that, you can. But the first story of Overdrive and Hercules actually leads into what's to be continued, which is what I felt was the most important part of the book. That.
Superior Spider-Man Annual Issue Number 2. This is a tie-in to Goblin Nation. However, Spider-Man is not the main character of this book. There are 2 stories in here. One story focuses on Hobgoblin Phil Urich. Ben Urich, his uncle, I believe. We all found out that Phil Urich is Hobgoblin from way back. Spider-Man threw out who he really was. The Ben is he found out that the Goblin Serum is what screws up the Goblin's head. So basically, he blames the Goblin Serum, or the Goblin Serum, on why Phil is acting the way he's acting and wants to find a cure. We get to see Carly a little bit in this story, and then we get to see the confrontation, or Ben confront Phil about being Hobgoblin. We also have Robbie, who's in it. Spider-Man makes his appearance at the end of this story arc, where Ben actually sees, because Spider-Man breaks Phil's mask, and Ben Urich actually sees that basically his nephew Phil is gone, that this is who he is, that Robbie was right, that he lives to be the Hobgoblin. He's like, Phil's dead to me, and that's it. He's not my nephew anymore. He's something else. And then he goes off to writing a story because he is a reporter. Second story is all focused on Carly, because we all know Carly is goblined out right now thanks to what Green Goblin did to her. And there is a cure. They do cure Carly. However, she also goes into a bit of a coma because of the serum. And then you have Wrath going after now the Goblins instead of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. She's like, if anything, it just doesn't seem to matter at this moment. And it all leads into Superior Spider-Man issue number 30. Honestly, guys, do you need to read this? If you are invested in more Phil Urich, aka the Hobgoblin, or if you wanted to see Carly get cured, yes. Will this probably be repeated, sort of, in Superior Spider-Man 30? I'm pretty sure. However, this completes the Goblin Nation story, so if you're a completionist, you'll definitely want this annual. For $5, you're pretty much getting... The first story was really good, and the second one with Carly, if you are a huge fan of Carly's character, you'll love the second story. If you're an average fan of Carly, like me, you'll like it, but it's not something that $5 are worth. However, the first story with Hobgoblin and Ben Urich, coming to terms with Phil now being the Hobgoblin, that was worth the money. It was really good, but again, this is focused on 2 side characters, not Spider-Man. So if you're buying it for Spider-Man, he's not in it.
All New Invaders.
He is in it, but he's only in a small piece of it. I wanted to correct myself.
Yes. All New Invaders issue number 3. This explains a lot more of how Namor was on, where he is actually. Which is actually why I felt this comic book to be more informative. Because I want to know how Namor got there and, what's the whole big thing. So, it starts off where 3 days before Namor was captured, where he faces off with Talith, and their fight scene. Actually, I'll show the first page of the artwork. The artwork looks spectacular. I really love the artwork in this one. And of course, in the end, it turns out that Talith got him thanks to her gun in the army. And then they held him captive at the Kree Empire's homeworld, where, they just want to, keep Namor because of other stuff, and it's basically to possess his memories and everything else, and his past, basically. And then there's Captain America and
Human Torch?
Hammond. Well, I'll call him Human Torch. They have a long talk with each other. Meanwhile, Thor has a communication about the whole mission. And the whole mission is to go to rescue Namor from Kree. And Bucky is Michigan trying to find out some other missions. Something called, looking for the Icarus who is this one right here, because his mission was to go look for the alien. He reminds me of Martian Manhunter, the way they made him. Not by he is, I'm just saying that he reminded me of him. And there's just a whole big thing I talks to him about the destinations and everything else. And he is actually going to work with them to save Namor on the mission to go to the Kree, because he has more stuff there. So they go to the Kree homeworld, and Captain America meets up with Talith, and she's just saying, you know, we are the Kree and we are the Empire and we are all-knowing and everything else, which sends out, let's just say, a certain somebody to actually fight into the war, and it doesn't look so good. So there's going to be a huge big challenge on the table for the all-new Invaders team. But I will say this much, though.
You can't get a book back in its cover.
Can't get back in its cover. But if you guys want to know how Namor got into the Kree homeworld, this story will definitely give you guys that information, along with how they're going to go about their mission to save Namor from the Kree homeworld. Just who they met at the end was the one that made me want to get the next issue.
Wolverine and the X-Men, Volume 2, or Session 2, Issue number 2. I'm just calling it Wolverine and the X-Men after this at this point. So, Issue 2 now. The Phoenix Order, or the, I forget what they're called. They call themselves the Phoenix Corporation. Makes themselves known. And I thought Cade Kilgore, it was the end of Annoying Kids. Well, now we have Eden Young, CEO of Phoenix Corporation. So we got rid of Cade Kilgore with the first volume, and now we have this new punk for volume 2.
Oh boy.
Yippee! So Quentin Quire, after seeing this, ends up leaving or disappearing off campus because he wants to know about the Phoenix Corporation, because everybody knows that he's going to become the Phoenix at some point. Which I don't like that they're playing off that they know he's going to become the Phoenix so much, because it's kind of telling me that he's not in the end, or something's going to happen where it's not going to be like what we think. And we also get to see Evan a little bit kind of upset that everybody's so focused on Quentin Quire and nobody really cares about him.
Yeah.
He's like, basically, Quentin Quire has the whole world and I have nothing. So this is all building into Evan becoming Apocalypse at some point, I believe. So you got Wolverine, who wants to stop the Phoenix Corporation. So here we go again. It was the Hellfire Club first, now it's the Phoenix Corporation. You got Quentin Quire, who's right there inside Phoenix Corporation's building, the main building. We get this guy, I don't even know who the heck he is, but he has psychic abilities. He goes into Quentin's mind and shows him the future with him as the Phoenix versus Apocalypse. You got Wolverine, Storm, and that's it. Wolverine and Storm. I thought that was somebody else. Wolverine and Storm who come to his rescue, so to speak. Heidi is really bitching out towards Armor, or I can't pronounce her full name, so it's kind of like a little harder. It's
Okango?
where do you see that?
That one?
No.
Ooh.
Her full, oh, it doesn't say it here, does it? No, her name is mentioned.
Oh, you're talking about her? Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
It's over here.
Oh, that one?
Yeah. Hisako?
Asako, yeah.
Basically her name, but she's Armor. Her X-Men name is Armor. And yeah, there's a little bit of a confliction. Basically, Heidi doesn't care about really Quentin Quire. She's only worried about the rest of them because she's like, Wolverine has a target on them. Now there's the Phoenix Corporation, and we're the Jean Grey, aka the Phoenix School. So we've got bigger targets on us now. And then it jumps back to Wolverine, and he gets a little bit of a glimpse into the future about Evan becoming Apocalypse. You get Quentin Quire, who gets carried away, and Wolverine's kind of down and out, and he's telling Storm that she has to get back to the school and protect Evan. So Evan and Quentin apparently are going to be the main stars of this volume of Wolverine and the X-Men. but left out a ton of dialogue, of course. Interesting. It's fun. It's interesting to see how Quentin went from being the villain to now becoming a hero, or a younger hero, like the young Phoenix bearer. And now Evan went from being this innocent child, this innocent clone of Kid Apocalypse, to becoming the Apocalypse.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how one comes into the... It's kind of like Smallville. One comes into the light and one delves into the darkness. That's the feeling I get, and that's what I like. Interesting second volume. Again, I wish Wolverine would go back to being the way he was before, with the healing factor and such, but yeah, we'll see.
Revolutionary War Warheads one-shot. And, once again, like the Revolutionary Wars, we do have one more issue, by the way, left to go until we conclude the whole thing. So, basically it talks about Dai, D-A-I, who was known as the Warhead. And here's some artwork, which is pretty okay, the artwork. And it just talks about... you know, like he had a dream of some missions that he had to do, and there's like a big conversation about the Mistech, because you know the Mistech's gonna play a huge role. I mean, I could definitely say that much. And he goes through like these visions and stuff like that of how the Mistech may be evil and stuff like that. But there's a new gateway that has become operational in the multiverse that he has been been going through and stuff like that. So you know, I mean, I don't want to give too much away. Like, there's just a whole bunch of dialogue going on to the 13th floor, which they thought never existed until now. And there's I forgot what his name was. Like, he gets possessed by the Prime Wraith, so to say, because of when he touched the skeleton and all that stuff. And basically, he's just talking about the whole Master Key and everything else that's going on. Like, there's just a whole bunch of things that you definitely gotta take in when you read this book. It's just... coming to that point where it's just going to be just crazy, like the whole thing, and yeah, I just can't wait to see how the ending is going to be. So I'd say it's a really interesting book to read about, and if you're interested, I just want to know what that guy's name was.
Let it go.
Yeah, I guess I could. Well, basically, it's the Colonel, I'm guessing.
Okay.
So... if you've been collecting Revolutionary Wars, you can, but like I said, they're just one-shots in their stories, but I want to see the last issue of how it's going to lead into something, because it's going to lead into something, and I want to know what that something is at the end of the issue.
Next, we have Nova, issue number 15, or Nova Unchained. Haha, the same week Superman Unchained comes out. How about that?
Right.
So, Nova saves Cosmo, the dog. The telepathic dog. And ends up fighting the three... Oh, God, I forgot what they're called. The three...
Amigos.
Yeah, I wish it would be that easy, but... basically, they're going to help Skarn break into a safe, which at first we don't know what it is, but Sam comes into contact with those three, I want to call them robbers, but I can't remember what they are.
Well,
anyway,
the artwork looks really
he ends up
nice.
fighting against the three of them. Artwork's really nice. It's a huge fight that goes on throughout most of the middle of the book. Beta Ray Bill actually comes back into the picture towards the end. Sam ends up running back to Earth for a little bit because he has to go to school. Remember, he has to keep his attendance up or else things are going to go really downhill for him. So he's forced to go back to Earth for a bit, just to do school. And then he goes right back up into space where he meets up with Beta Ray Bill, like I said again, and Cosmo, and they're going up against Skarn. However, Skarn has already broken into the safe, and the safe is a secret weapons vault. So things aren't looking so good for Nova and Beta Ray Bill at the end of this issue. Again, this story, they pumped it up to be something humongous. You know, it was an issue 1 for the all-new Marvel Now Nova. And in the end, I really feel like it's just one of those stories that's like a segue into the next big story. Because the artist is different for this story arc. The writing is okay for the story, but not something that I feel like is going to be a major part of Nova as we move forward. Especially with Original Sins coming soon. So, it's a nice segue story at best. Next is yours.
Alright, Avengers World, issue number 4. Where the focus point is on Starbrand.
Oh, that has to be
in
boring.
this comic book. Not really, actually. Like, I found this to be really interesting.
I love how they blacked out everybody who's no longer on the Avengers team.
Yeah, and they just go with who's on there so far. So meanwhile, Starbrand and the group, they go to Italy of the City of the Dead. And basically they're hearing, like, Starbrand's hearing whispers of everything, even though they're dead. And, you know, there's these weird looking demons that come out and stuff like that. Artwork is, I would say it's amazing in some ways. And
I do like the artwork.
Yeah, and Starbrand hears his name, who, you know, his name is Kevin, by the way. And he hears it from Kelly Overton. And he goes back to his old memories when he was in high school. And it was so funny, like, saying, I don't want to go back to high school. I thought that was kind of hilarious. Meanwhile, back at the S.H.I.E.L.D., Bruce Banner and Captain America have talked with each other. And it has something to do with the situation, so to say, like the team that they're going to be trapped in some way in Italy, like basically that going into a trap, and Starbrand is in the middle because he's hearing all these visions and stuff like that. And no one could hear him when he's trying to say that this is the day where that terrible tragedy happened, where everybody gets killed, but Kelly. And so yeah, everybody just died after all that stuff, and you know, he just wants to get out of here and the whole mob of dead people, and you know, there's just like a whole big thing of Starbrand's team of what they're going through, and Starbrand meets up with somebody in the end of this issue.
Oh wow! Don't spoil that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil that actually, because if you guys want to know, well then you're just gonna have to pick up the comic book and find out. And with that,
we're due for our commercial break. So guys, stay tuned. When we come back, we have 2 more Marvel books, and then the rest is all DC. So guys, stay tuned, and we will be right back after these messages. And welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, everybody. And ironically, you ended the last part, and we're going to start this segment with you.
Yes. And the book of the week from the all-new Marvel Now has to go to Thunderbolts issue number 23. Now that Ghost Rider's joined the team, I open this comic book, and I'm thinking, what are we going to find out in this comic book? And well, get ready for this. Flash Thompson Venom is going to leave the team of the Thunderbolts. And he wants to leave the team because there's the symbiote that, you know, that's taking over him, and he wants the Thunderbolts team to take his symbiote powers down. So he turns to this big Venom person, like not the regular Flash Thompson Venom, like the big Venom, along with some great artwork, by the way. And now they have to go and try to find Venom. So Ghost Rider finds him, and they have a bit of a fight where Ghost Rider's trying to give him the pedant stare. You know, when he goes look into my eye like Marvel's Capcom 3. I just had to bring that up because I think that's funny sometimes. Punisher and Elektra having a little talk with each other. Like, you know, they're one-on-ones with each other. Like, and Elektra's made a good point. Like, Thompson didn't ask us to kill him. He asked us to kill it, meaning the symbiote. Because she admitted that they're not murderers and stuff like that. So they have a hard time trying to take out Venom. But they do make good strategy to escape. Meanwhile, Samuel Stearns uses magnesium, thinking that that's the symbiote is weakness. And we all know the symbiote's weakness is sonic sound. Hello? But then again, we find out that he used Wikipedia, and you can't ever trust Wikipedia, really. And I like how Deadpool uses Spiderman to lure Venom into the whole trap to get him in and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the Punisher actually gets trapped and all that stuff. And Deadpool, I think that Deadpool and Ghost Rider were the ones that really put some effort into it, and a little bit from the Hulk. So with that, they get rid of the symbiote with the Hulk when he clapped his hands to make the sonic sounds. And Flash just said, you know, this is my curse, and I just have to live with it.
So basically the whole book was useless.
Well, it wasn't useless. Like, I liked how when he was going to leave the team, it's like saying, in order for me to leave the team, you got to get rid of the symbiote. And in the end, he wound up just keeping the symbiote because he really needs it. And the thing he said about, you know, Raw's, like, you know, like saying like how he doesn't really care about the team and everything because that was a Venom speaking. Flash said that really wasn't the Venom speaking. That was actually the truth. And that's how he left with a preview cover for that. So, to be honest, I really thought that the issue was
one hell of a way to say goodbye to Venom.
Yeah, and I thought it was going from one point to another, but now Venom left the team. Let's see where their point is going to go after that. I mean, Ghost Rider just joined the team, so... But it is sad to see Venom go, though, with that.
Book of the week for me is Daredevil issue number 1. Continuing with Mark Waid and Chris Samney. It's just $1 more now, which pisses me off. Because all they did was, now you can get a free digital copy with every hard copy. Take away your digital copy and charge me my $2.99 again, Marvel. I don't give a shit about the digital copies. I really don't. I don't. And that's all they did. They didn't really add pages either. So that's bullshit. I don't care. I don't need a free digital copy. Keep it. Give me my $2.99 price tag back for Daredevil. Of course, they see Daredevil is doing like the best and they want to charge an extra $1 for it. So, Daredevil's now in California. I'm looking over that because this is still my book of the week. Because Daredevil is now in, like I said, San Francisco. And the world already knows that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. As a matter of fact, right off the bat, we have Matt Murdock on a case looking for a missing child. And you see him deducing clues using his powers. And he becomes Daredevil and he flies off. And then you get, if this is your first Daredevil issue... You're in luck because not only do you get Daredevil's background, not only do you find out that he left New York, but you basically get a good idea of what's going on. So Mark Waid did an excellent job. Yes, yes. Mark Waid did an excellent job of recapping Daredevil, his origin. Now, does he reference what happened fully in the previous Daredevil volume? Absolutely not. You have no idea about the stories that happened in the previous volume. However, you know that Daredevil is now in California, that he left New York, and he's now there, and he's working with his friend, or who was his girlfriend, Kristen McDuffel, who was basically...
the fact that Matt Murdock's Daredevil.
Yes.
Revealing that.
Basically, she's playing Foggy. She's his assistant in his attorney's office, and she's his assistant as Daredevil. Because in New York, he knew where everything was. In California, he doesn't so much. So, he has to rely on her and her Google Maps to figure out everything. So, he ends up saving this little girl, and it turns out this little girl actually has a bomb inside of her that this group of I want to say terrorists want to set off at some point when he's in a populated area, like a police station or in a huge crowd of people or someplace big. So he actually hides the girl away so she doesn't explode and takes out the guy who's trying to blow the little girl up.
Wow.
And in the end, the little girl's safe. You know, they get the bomb out. And we find out that somebody is actually watching Matt Murdock, or looking, you know, he's spying on Matt Murdock. And we also get a little bit into Foggy, but I think it's not true, but that's why I'm not going to say it until the next issue. This is a good introduction to the next volume of Daredevil, and it's not intimidating, because you basically get everything you need in this first issue.
Like that.
It almost left me. So if you would like to try Daredevil, this is your best and possibly only jumping on point to understand what's going on from this point forward. So if you haven't read a Daredevil comic up to this point and you've been always wanting to, you want to trade paperback the previous volume, however you want to still get some single issues, start here. Holy crap, this was an awesome issue. And that's it for Marvel. We're going into DC. Digital First goes first, as always. Batman Beyond Universe, issue number 8. Starts off with the Justice League Beyond story, which takes up a fair bulk of this issue, and it's leading into a huge event that's going to be going on in the Batman Beyond Universe book in the coming months. So we have the Justice League Beyond versus Brainiac, and in the end, of course, they win. However, there is a superhero, there is a hero that is put into a coma, and Wonder Woman comes back. Or is it Wonder Woman? Because in the end, you have Superman pointing at Wonder Woman going, is he right, Diana? Did we stop the invasion, or are we just eliminating the competition, clearing the way for your fellow Justice Lords? We're going to be getting, you remember them from Justice League of America, Justice League United, I believe, or Justice League, whatever. So the Justice Lords Beyond are coming in the next issue. So it's the end of one story arc and the beginning of the next. Next issue is Justice Lords Beyond Part 1. However, next story is Batman Beyond. And the story ended kind of the way I figured it would, and it actually ended early because it actually ends with Man-Bat basically destroying himself, and then the story kind of abruptly stops. And then we have another story called The Batmen Second Chances, and it's all about Dick and Barbara's relationship from when they were Batgirl and Robin all the way through to the Beyond years. And that was an interesting little story, little tidbit. By the way, Zod really didn't show up too much, little kid Zod. I don't know why he's on the cover. He really was not, he's on the cover.
Wow.
However, he did not really play any type of major role at all in this story.
You know, not every cover is always accurate. Sometimes that can be misleading.
So, for those of you that have been reading this digitally, this is way old news. You're already in the Justice Lord story and the next Batman Beyond story. So, I'm loving Batman Beyond Universe. This is definitely a book I'll never drop. However, the Futures End, that's really going to have to work to get me to like that, it looks like.
Scribblenauts Unmasked, Crisis of Imagination, issue number 3. This comic book was so excellent, this comic book. Like, basically, it talks about how Maxwell and Lily saved each and every Justice League member when they were in a situation. Like, first off, Aquaman with Black Manta. Like, thanks to Maxwell's notebook, he was saved. The Flash, when he was with Master Mirror, or Mirror Master.
Mirror Master.
Yeah. And then Green Lantern story, and then there was Wonder Woman. You know, like, I really liked how that all happened. And I like this page right here, where everyone gave a group hug. I mean, even Batman and Maxwell weren't so about, but just once they did that. And that made me smile just to see that. But then not everything turns all happy, because now they're on a mission of why the sky was turning red, where Atrocitus and Sinestro are doing a fear and rage of you know, what's going on. So Maxwell talks to what's his name? Princeton Jetpack.
Adam Strange.
Adam
This
Strange?
guy's Adam Strange.
Oh, Adam Strange. Yeah, I got misled because of this. So he talks with Adam
He said it's
Strange.
a pristine jetpack.
That he gave him, right?
Yeah.
But I got confused. It was right here. But anyway, so he talks with him about what's going on, and Maxwell becomes the space cowboy where there are pirates and everything else. And Maxwell wanted to call Batman, but after so many messages, yeah, Batman got rid of the number off his phone, which I found also hilarious. Like, this was a really hilarious and random book, and it leads into those the things we saw from what Lex Luthor was using, the souls with
Oh dear Lord, it's leading into
something
that.
like that, you know. And it leads into also the anti-monitor that...
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. And they're saying to be continued, we hope.
It's going to be continued.
Of course it is. So, it was really funny and random. Especially very touching as well, just with that one scene, but I'm really enjoying this book. Even though it's a kid's book, I'm really liking
it's good
how
to
it's all
have
coming
fun.
together. Yeah, it's always good to have fun, you know? Sometimes books could be fun to read and or serious, and, you know, that's how the way the comic book world is.
Supergirl issue 29. Now, Supergirl's going down the whole becoming a Red Lantern, no longer part of the Superman family, which is fine. This issue basically was Supergirl versus her former roommate, who happens to be the Silver Banshee. And that's basically the gist of this entire issue. Supergirl can't control her rage. She wants revenge for what happened to Krypton. So Silver Banshee, who's best friends with Supergirl, but Supergirl doesn't know that, basically she just convinces Supergirl in the end that it's not Earth's fault. It's something that happened in space. So she should be focused on space, not Earth. So basically in the end you get Supergirl leaving into space, and it actually says to be continued in Green Lantern / Red Lanterns 28, and then grab Red Lanterns 29 to continue Supergirl's story. And then we get the introduction of this character who does not have a name, and if he was in previous issues of Supergirl that I did not read, I apologize. However, I'm guessing this is going to be the person that Supergirl as a Red Lantern will be going up against at some point. That's the long and short of this issue. I felt like the way I just explained it to you guys is the way I read it. It was a quick read, some internal dialogue from her roommate, from Silver Banshee, and really not much from Supergirl because she's blinded by rage right now. We know in Red Lanterns 28 that Guy Gardner threw her into the pool, the blood oceans of Yasmalt, and she came out and she was tame again. But she's going to remain a Red Lantern for some time, so I don't know, we'll see where it goes. But at least she doesn't have those missing pieces to her boots anymore where her knees are. Really, that's all I can say for right now with Supergirl.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment with Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 29.
Great, now we're in the disappointment part of this segment of this show.
Alright, first of all, it talks about these new people who are coming in, and they're going after the Great Red Spot, you know, of other stuff. And we don't know, who these guys are, you know, until we go into the story. Here's some artwork I'll show you right here, and it's big. Thank you. And it's Starfire and Jason Todd going up against virtual aliens just to, I guess, practice and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Red Arrow is just creating some robotic stuff and like bombs or some other type. And then he sees that there are these guys from the vent that have invaded the lair or something like that. And well, first of all, he said that this can't be good because he heard something, and it just keeps going back and forth. And when he actually caught who was in there, he was just saying, like, you know, like, who are these guys? And we heard him say this like 3 times. I mean, the first time it's like saying, okay. The second time, okay, we get it, you want to know. The third time, it's like, why are you saying it so many times? If you want to know, just do your attacks. Use your arrows or something. You know, I don't know. And meanwhile, Jason Todd and Star Sapphire encounter... Starfire. They encounter with this frog giant character-like thingy. I don't know what it is. And they just have a fight with that creature. And then all of a sudden, like, just Red Arrow is, like, just still trying to find out answers of just who they are. And, you know, everything else. And after that, the story just went, like, all over the place. And then, you know...
It ends in shade with Frankenstein. Oh, joy.
Yeah, and then after that, I just put the book down and I said, what the hell was I just reading? I did not understand why they were going like this back and forth thing, because I was just driving my head bonkers and everything, and I just didn't know what the hell I was reading. This book just went all over the place. No, if this book's going to continue going like that, I am going to drop it. Just... That's it for that. What the hell I was reading, I have no idea. And if I hear Red Arrow keep saying a million times, who the hell are those guys, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to slap him back in the head saying, go find out yourself.
Animal Man issue 29. This is the final issue of Animal Man. You'd think they would want to end with issue 30, but I guess they wanted to end it a month earlier, or they wanted to end it this month. The artwork on the cover, unfortunately, is inside this book. However, it is not the artwork of the book. We get the original artist for the story. The artwork here is Maxine's story that she tells Buddy. We'll get to that. However, there are no longer totems in the red, so Buddy basically says that Socks and Shepherd both need to become the new totems of the red. And they do. Under the condition that now Maxine no longer has any... of the red inside of her. She sacrificed all of her powers for Shepherd. And he agreed to be the red's avatar. He said, I'll be your avatar, just leave my family alone. When I die, when I get too old to be Animal Man, you find another avatar that isn't a baker. And they agree. So that's that. Then we have the moments with Cliff and his wife in their house. Then he goes to Maxine to see how she is. She's wide awake, and he wants to tell her a bedtime story to put her to sleep. She reverses it. She's like, let me tell you a story and put before we go to sleep. And basically, it's her version of everything that's gone on in Animal Man, from Rot World to basically Brother Blood. You have everything. Ooh. All the bad guys. You got Swamp Thing in here. Everybody. And she also mentions Cliff's death and her trying to find him. However, it ends where they'll see Cliff again when they all die. Basically, she sums up this entire series. All 29 issues are summed up in this book. And it just ends on a very happy note. He tells Maxine goodnight. She falls asleep. He kisses Ellen. He says goodnight, Ellen. Then he goes outside and says goodnight, Cliff. And it kind of just ends. And that's it. You have Animal Man just looking to the sky, and it just ends with being outside of Animal Man's house, and that's the end of the series. Next issue will be that we'll see Animal Man in is Justice League United, and there are still little seeds about him becoming the new bridge.
So wait,
maker.
Did he get rid of his powers?
No, Animal Man stayed the same. Maxine lost her powers.
So why is he going to be in Justice League United with...
Maxine lost her powers. He's still Animal Man.
Oh, so that's why they're... Oh, I see.
But remember, he still has that thing where when the bridge maker dies, he has to go back to that world and become that for the rest of for all eternity. I hope they visit that in Justice League United, and they fix the story where basically Buddy gets taken back to Earth. Like he comes back somehow. Yeah. That would be really good. But that's the end of Animal Man. No more. Swamp Thing at some point is going to end, I have a feeling, because it's going downhill now too. Batman and Aquaman, issue number 29, The Hunt for Robin, begins now. And Batman is following the trail. Basically, Damian left him coordinates to some place, and it leads into where all Damian's former teachers that were taken by the by Talia and the I forget what it's called. Ra's al Ghul and the assassins something. I forget what it's called. But Ra's is trying to resurrect Damian and Talia, and Batman wants his son back, basically. So him and Aquaman find where Ra's secret base is, or where his base at the moment is, and it turns out that he's spawning these creatures through whales. This is how Aquaman gets involved. And throughout the rest of the issue, he's like, I want to hear him scream today, Bruce. And he's like, you and me both. So, I don't want to show that page or anything else. You have Batman basically trying to get through to get to Ra's and save his son and Talia's bodies, basically, because he doesn't want Ra's screwing around with them. However, he escapes, and Batman is that close to both their bodies, but in the end, he doesn't get them yet. Artwork, I remember this artwork from Superman, not a fan. Ra's is heading to Paradise Island, and guess who Batman's going to go to for help? Wonder Woman, because it's Paradise Island.
Oh.
So, next stop, Paradise Island. So now it's the chase.
Batman, Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Oh.
So now basically Batman's on the chase, not the hunt for Robin. He's going to try to get his son and Talia's bodies back. By any means. At the end of this story arc, it will determine one of two things. Either Batman needs to end, or Robin has to come back.
Maybe after the end series he will come back.
Maybe.
After the ends of him not teaming up with other people. Who knows? Did they do the Batman and Superman thing yet?
Yeah, Batman. I'm not buying it anymore because it's Jay Lee's artwork.
No, I'm talking about for this series. The Batman and.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been in this yet. No,
oh, okay. It might be part of it. Unless
at some point, maybe. But I'm hoping.
Why I meant not that one.
This was a perfect beginning to the story. However, I hope that the story picks up a little bit because it fell a little bit short. Harley Quinn, however, did pick up in issue 4. It's the first day on the job. Her first day on the job for both her psychiatrist in this old folks' home and at the rollerball. So she starts off in the psychiatrist job, and she meets this wonderful old woman who says, you know, my family never comes to visit me. I'm so lonely. I love my children, but why they don't love me as much. Why can't they love me as much as I love them? And you get a little sniffle. So Harley ends up leaving that job early to basically, long story short, abduct the family and bring them to see, and basically punish them for not seeing the son's mother or the grandson's grandmother in a while. We also get an homage to Star Wars, because you have a part where Guido, not Guido,
Guido?
Not Guido. Yeah, Guido.
Guido?
But not Guido who you're thinking. Guido, for those of you that watched Star Wars Episode 4, this is the scene with Han Solo and Guido the alien. The guy even looks like the alien. And it's the exact same dialogue up until the very end. Instead of Jabba, though, it's Bubba. And he's basically saying, you give me double what they're paying me, and I'll pretend like you're not even here. And then you get that whole Han Solo shot first, except this time she didn't shoot. She basically just stabbed him with a fork. I love they did that homage to Star Wars. Then we got her at the roller derby. She didn't make it, however, she does run over the other team. Yeah, you gotta read the book to understand why. And then it turns out that the old woman who said her family never visits her, turns out she actually has Alzheimer's disease. And she's like, oh yeah, the file. I was supposed to read the file and I didn't. And then she meets up with this other guy who knows that she's Harley Quinn at this old folks' home. that she's being a psychiatrist in. And he's like, there's these guys in America, and I need you to help me save America because some individuals are still there and they're looking to destroy the American dream. And it's like the next issue, the pursuit of Rushkies, in which Harley helps Sly pull the plug on a 50-year-old terrorist plot, real or imagined, and Amanda promises Jimmy never to use the phrase "let's do this thing" ever again. And I like the ending page where they're kind of like, let's do it. So hopefully this guy doesn't have Alzheimer's or isn't completely out of his mind either. Now we're about to hit 1 minute, so we're going to switch out the cameras. I'm sorry for the unfortunate that we're going to have a little bit of a different quality. That's it. But we have 3 books left, and we only have a minute before this camera goes. So this book, I enjoyed it this week a lot. So hang on a sec. Take a push of a button, and then we're going to continue. Okay? Mike, yours is first.
Yep. Forever Evil Blight, Trinity of Sin Pandora, issue number 9.
The pre-numberal issue. There's only one more left.
Yep, and that's where.
And then I think I'm going to be taking over Pandora again because.
Yeah, because the Blight will be over, so I'm going to give Pandora back to you, so you can enjoy her back again. So Pandora is basically it mainly was focused on Dr. Faust more, along with John Constantine when he was fighting against the demon with Angel Zarel, who actually helped him out with his sword and everything, basically to help him out. Here's some artwork, by the way, which is drawn excellently. And like Dr. Faust, like he just wants to take like so much power and everything else there is to it, and he's just saying Swamp Thing is about to kill all the prisoners and everything, and he says that he could pull like secrets of being the world's wizard, and he knows about Pandora and how she was created and everything, and their Fam Stranger comes in to try to help out along with Dead Man to try to stop Swamp Thing and everything. And lo and behold, John Constantine's Zatanna return to the Justice League Dark team. And Pandora and Dr. Faust, like they have this big fight with each other. Like he's like saying, like show us the truth because because he's going to destroy everything. And Dr. Faust is just saying that he don't care about what happens and everything. And he's just like saying, there'll be no more gods, no more anything, He just wants to destroy everything. He's just become a psychopath. And he wants to rebuild his own weapon himself, that he has the power. And basically John Constantine just settles the whole thing with his own way of taking down Dr. Faust. And that's to be continued next week with Justice League Dark issue number 29, the conclusion. And the next issue where you'll return is Giganta's Revenge, so I guess it'll be from where you left off.
I don't know, we'll see.
Or something, I don't know. But from DC Comics, this was my book of the week. Definite 5 out of 5. I'm looking forward to seeing how all this is going to conclude. And hopefully, the way it concludes is getting rid of the crime syndicate and letting the Justice League come back to the world in order for them to do that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sorry, that's what I'm itching to see. Just that part happen. Because I'm just looking forward to that.
The only reason this book is up all the way on top is because it's a Forever Evil tie-in, and this is my last issue of it. Suicide Squad issue 29, this was so... I'll tell you guys, if we weren't looking to just get to review everything Forever Evil related, they fight Omak. Amanda gets into Omak's head. Kevin wins control over of Omak again. However, Captain Boomerang's an idiot, and Omak gets taken out. And then it turns out that the bullet she gave Deathstroke to give to everybody, or Deadshot, sorry, not Deathstroke. Deadshot to shoot everybody with, that gives him temporary super strength and speed and agility and whatnot. Yeah, basically he reinstalled all the nano, what's it called? The nano bombs into all Suicide Squad. So she now controls Suicide Squad again. She'll blow them up if they don't follow her orders. And it's over. And it says to be continued in The Reckoning of Amanda Waller. That's the one shot that comes out next week, which I will not buy. I refuse. It's $5. And it's an Amanda Waller one shot.
Oh,
Sorry, I don't like Amanda Waller. I will not waste $5 on the character. So my Suicide Squad days end with this issue. And my God, the only reason why, like I said, I bought this was a Forever Evil tie-in. And you know what? Had nothing to do with Forever Evil anyway. It was all about Suicide Squad surviving what's going on.
Yeah, so they just posted the Forever Evil on there just so that way people will buy.
Harley Quinn has her own series now. I don't need Suicide Squad anymore. So that's my last issue of Suicide Squad. Final book, and this is definitely an awesome book. Superman Unchained, issue number 6. So Ascension has shot off every single nuclear weapon you could think of, and the entire world is going to basically get wiped out. You have, what's his name now? Wrath, who wants to only save America, and then you have Superman who wants to save the entire world. Lois Lane versus Ascension until, guess what? Superman shows up to save the day. Superman saves Lois, and she ends up grabbing one of the sun's crystals, the Earth. I love how I forget the names of certain things. Earthstone. So Superman tries to access the Earthstone, and actually does after doing like humongous concentration, and he basically stops and destroys every single bomb or nuclear device before it goes off, before it even touches Earth's ground. He destroys the bombs and the warheads never go off. Then it becomes, Wraith shows up and he's like, Superman, General Lane wants the Sunstone and the machine to study it. And Superman's like, you're not getting this Sunstone, go diving under the Atlantic Ocean and find what's left there. You're not getting what I have. Becomes a huge fight between Superman and Wraith, and guess what? Thanks to Batman, Superman has the one weakness that can actually stop Wraith, just like Kryptonite stops Superman, this thing stops Wraith. He runs off, Lois Lane and Superman end up in the Fortress of Solitude, and here's your big spoiler. Last page, General Sam Lane and the United States of America declares war on Superman at his Fortress of Solitude.
Oh no.
Yeah. I hate Sam Lane now way more than I did pre-New 52. They made him way more of a dick since the New 52 era started, and I don't like it. And I don't like that the United States is going up against Superman. The world no longer trusts its superheroes. This is the Marvel Universe.
DC Universe.
No. This is exactly what the Marvel Universe did with all their superheroes. This is the Marvel Universe back in the 90s. Basically didn't trust any of their superheroes except for Captain America. DC Universe trusts nobody except for who works with America that everybody trusts. Nobody, really. So really, none of them really trust or love any of their superheroes as much as they did pre-New 52. So I'm just loving the New 52. Did I tell you how much I love the New 52?
Mm-hmm. You always tell it to me every night.
That's a lie.
I know it's a lie.
Of course.
It is.
So, I can't wait to see the next issue. Scott Snyder is hitting it out of the park with Superman Unchained. However, looking over that this is the new status quo of DC Universe. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next now that Sam Lane is taking it to Superman's backyard. And Jim Lee's artwork is spectacular for Superman Unchained. I believe this is a 8-issue series. It's a limited series. I believe it's going to end in another month or so. This was meant to be contained in the 2013 year, but it kind of reached out into 2014, just like Batman Eternal, which is Batman's 75th anniversary special series, is going to reach over into 2015. But it's still an excellent book. Highly recommend it. Close to my book of the week, but Daredevil definitely took that.
Okay.
And with that, that's it, everybody. So, until next time, don't forget to check out Comic Related and Comic Frontline. It's Comic Related and ComicFrontline.com. Together, we are your #1 source for comic related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. BBZ Cast Episode 1 is now live on Brooklyn Boys 13's YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/BrooklynBoys13 and give the first episode a listen. We got basically almost the entire cast back from the original BBZ Cast way back 2-3 years ago when we tried BBZ Cast. So with the relaunched BBZ Cast, we now actually have most of the original staff back.
Yep.
Also, this week we have a couple of things coming. Last week we did not do a trash pack time. However, this week we're going to have, well, I don't want to spoil it, but we're going to make up for basically what we missed out on last week. You can look forward to a ton of videos from both myself and Michael this week. It's official that we are now in a event on Comic Frontline. For those of you that didn't see Mike Spider Slayer's review of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 1, Episode 1, for the next 2 weeks, the theme and the big event going on Comic Frontline is Buffy and Angel. Basically, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff pertaining to the comic and TV series for Buffy the Vampire Hunter and Angel. I loved Angel growing up, so it's going to be really easy for me to review a lot of the Angel stuff. We've seen a couple of issues of Angel and Faith way back in the day, where somebody else reviewed that book. I'll be doing possibly some reviews of some books. We'll see, but that's the big thing that's going on Comic Frontline right now. So if you're a Buffy or an Angel fan, check out the stuff. We got lots of stuff coming out on Comic Frontline pertaining to Buffy and Angel. That's our next big thing for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're even pushing Media Madness down a couple of weeks, because this week we're going to be doing Buffy, and then next week we've got Frozen that we're going to be doing, which one of us is going to have to buy the Blu-ray for at some point. But beside the point, lots of stuff going on Comic Frontline, so definitely check us out the next couple of weeks. That's the big event going on, or the big theme that we're going to be doing on Frontline. If you enjoy what you see here, I have 3 videos each week. The haul, the indie review, and then the comic review. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I also always frequent the site Ript. The link is in the description below. They have some awesome stuff. Each and every day is a new t-shirt, and they've got some really awesome shirts every day. Like I said, links in the description for Ript. Also, hey, the descriptions are back too, by the way. So you can click that link, go over to Ript. You see a shirt you like, order it. They're only $10 plus $2 shipping. You can't ask for a better deal, especially with shirts going for like 25 bucks nowadays. So anyway, guys, until next time, keep reading, keep collecting,
and keep watching.
And we'll see you guys really soon in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.